Hi team, this is Joseph. Last week we talked about the importance of managing our time. And let me give you a couple of stats. We get interrupted as business leaders or business executives at least one time, typically every 8 minutes. That's almost 7 times an hour, or anywhere between 50 to 60 times per day. And when you think about the last 20 years, when you think about what's that meant, our work time has increased about 15%, but our leisure time has only gone down 33%. So net, we're spending a heck of a lot of more time working and a lot of less time getting our batteries recharged and having fun. It brings to the point the importance of not only ensuring that we're doing the right stuff, we're getting stuff done, but that things that we're working on will have the maximum impact. So we talked about this 2x2 matrix, right? And we talked about the horizontal axis of the matrix being the level of effort, right? Is it something that's very difficult to do, something very hard to do, difficult to do, or very easy to do? And the vertical axis, we talked about low value versus high value. So the right corner, upper right-hand corner of that axis is all about no-brainers, right? Very easy to do, high value. Top left corner, again, high value, but hard to do. So those are worth the efforts. The right-hand lower corner of the box, right? Those are things that are easy to do, but don't give us that much value. So there we consider as excess capacity, or you think of those as quick wins. And then of course, you have those that are lower left-hand corner, which, hey, really hard to do and not a lot of value, things that we might want to reconsider. Okay, here's the thing. One of the wisest CEOs that I've had the opportunity to meet, and very, very privileged to call him my mentor, John Chambers, always used to tell me, Joseph, be careful not to confuse activities with results. Here's the thing. On that 2x2 matrix, we started by making sure that you practice listing what are those key activities that you are doing? What are those things that you're working on? But how do you know that those activities will in fact lead to the results that you desire? Here's a quick, another analogy that I would give you is, I want you to think about Marvel Comics and think about all the activities they spent years and years and years trying to do. What was that? How do I sell more comic books? It actually led them in almost to bankruptcy, right? And then what happened? They changed the fundamental question. It wasn't about how do I sell more comic books? It's how do I increase the entertainment value of my assets? We should be making movies. Wow, maybe we get a partner. Next thing you know, Disney buys them for $5 billion, which seems now like a steal. The point is, you want to make sure that you're fundamentally targeting the right question. That's the beginning of the journey. If you get the question wrong, everything else doesn't matter, right? Everything else is off the path. So how do you do that? Well, I want you to take that same matrix, that same 2x2, and under each activity that you've listed, I want you to turn that into a question. In other words, I want you to ask yourself, well, what question do I believe that I'm trying to answer by doing and performing that activity? What question am I trying to answer by performing that activity? This is a great way to make sure and test that, number one, should you be doing that activity in the first place? Lots of questions get around delegation. How do you know what to delegate? How do you know what to keep? It all starts with making sure that you are fundamentally aiming at the right target. So take your list, turn it into a question. With that will give you a really good sense. Should you be asking that question? If so, what are your assumptions by asking that question? Maybe someone else in your team would be better off handling that question, or maybe that's something that you in fact want to do yourself. Okay? The next session that I'll do next week, we'll dive a little bit more into really understanding how do you ask the right questions. But for right now, start with that matrix and make sure you understand turning those activities into questions. All right, with that, hopefully that gives you your tip for this Thursday soundbite. Try it, see if you like it, come back at me and let me know the results. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye, guys.